And you one at the time, you even ask me if I want to buy Phoenix. I'm going to tell you no. You
can buy Phoenix, boy? Look for my chest.
Butler versus Speid, Cavalier versus Vere is the match we've all been waiting for. This is Match Week 9 preview show. Yes, people, welcome back to Jump Your Fan. This will be the final round of matches before the international break, but we just have to start with the big one. Cavalier versus Vere. Once it was confirmed that Craig Butler was joining the JPL this season via his partnership with Vere United, everyone and their grandmother circled November 10th on their calendars since it will be the first match against longtime rival Rudolph Speid. The two men have hit heads in local football before, but never directly on the field, at least not at this magnitude. Butler, along with Lenny Hyde, has built a young Vere team that sometimes show brief flashes of good football, but definitely are far from being the finished product. While Speid and his young Duncan Destroyers are practically firing on all cylinders after playing well over 10 games already this season. On paper, tactically, all signs are pointing to a Cavalier victory as their team are designed to match well against a pressing team such as Vere. Expect a chess match of transitions as the team that counters better will most likely win out in this one. And while I don't believe history will play a role in this one at all, but Cavalier has not lost to Vere in 5 matches. The entire world should not miss this one when Cavalier faces Vere Phoenix United this Sunday 5:30 p.m. at Sabina Park. Arnett Gardens versus Tivoli Gardens. It's very, very rare that the West Kingston derby has to play second fiddle, but such is the hype of Cavalier versus Vere. Nonetheless, if this upcoming match is anything like last year's 3-3 fixture, it will most likely be the more entertaining match. Luckily, based on their performances against Cavalier, it seems that Tivoli has found their footing just in the nick of time for the derby. If I was Jerome Waite, I would not alter the last starting lineup as I felt that he finally found the right balance between a defense and attack. As for Arnett, so far they have been consistently inconsistent, but should be buoyed by their win on the road last week. But the pressure on Xavier Gilbert remains, and they will be playing in a heated match with their rivals with that over their heads. Most junglists will look to Harbour and Warner Brown to lead them to victory, but I believe the form of James Thomas and Roman Shepherd will be more pivotal. The head-to-head record states that Arnett have not kept a clean sheet for 5 games in this fixture, while that stat is even worse for Tivoli, who currently sits on 13 games. So it's pretty clear that this game will likely won't end up in a 0-0 when Arnett takes on arch rivals Tivoli Gardens this Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Mount Pleasant versus Harbour View. Speaking of managers under fire, even the great top of Whitmore is feeling a bit of pressure. Sure, there are many games left to play, so it's too early to panic, but some fans and pundits do believe that this star-studded team has failed to live up to their potential so far. It's a shame that the Storm robbed them of immediate redemption last Sunday, but it does give them extra days of preparation for the visit of Harbour View. Now, the Stars of the East had a recent run of bad results ended with a rather easy victory over Racing. It remains to be seen if Andre Fagan is their answer to the number 9 position, but the veteran is on form and currently the best option they got. Also, this will be a much sterner test for young goalkeeper Demele Fur after he replaced Palmer in the starting lineup. In their last meeting, Mount Pleasant squeaked by Harbour View 2-1 and would hope to have an easier time when they host the Stars of the East 3 p.m. this Sunday at Drax Hall. Molynes versus Portmore. The Lions finally lost at home to Arnett last week, and while the final result was disappointing, they should be encouraged about their second half performance. Being defensively solid is not a bad thing, but in this league, home victories are crucial and they will need to take more risk going forward. The only problem this week, high-flying Portmore are rolling into town. The Sun City boys have really impressed and entertained so far this season and will relish an open game as they are one of the better teams in transition. A lot of that has to do with the amazing form of Junior Grisel, who continues to be their goal-scoring hero in absence of Chevron Walsh. They are more than their attack as the back three led by Stephen Young is proving to be difficult to break down. The last time they faced each other, Portmore blanked the Lions 2-0 at home. Will they able to do it this time on the road? We will find out when Molynes hosts Portmore United 3 p.m. in Clarendon. Racing versus Chapelton Maroons. The two promotion boys will finally play each other this Sunday. Racing, after a decent start to the league, is now winless in 5 and cannot allow this slide to continue. They are being found out a bit, with their heavy reliance on Ronaldo bigs, but their defense has also been found out. Long passes over the top seems to be their Achilles heel, and they must find a way to play their style of football without falling prey to such tactics. While Chapelton Maroons also needs a result after going 4 games winless. They are playing well, but poor finishing and schoolboy errors have cost them lately. But I am sure they believe they are the favorites for this game and will look to dominate possession from the start. They will have fond memories of their last encounter when they met Racing in the final of the JFF Championship a couple months ago. It's a relegation 6-pointer when Racing hosts Chapelton at Sabina Park this Sunday. Molynes vs Waterhouse. Molynes currently sits at the basement of the table and are desperate to string a run of wins together to shoot up the table. Their top marksman Jason Wright has been struggling to keep fit, and it seems they are struggling to replace his goals. Molynes currently have a goal difference of -11 and must find a way to be more compact in defense if they can't score goals. But they will face a Waterhouse team that has snuck under the radar so far this season. Firehouse Nation have quietly moved up to second in the table and looking like title contenders so far this season. A lot of that credit has to go to their head coach Marcel Gale, who I believe is doing a really good job leading particularly what is a new attack and getting the best out of Bygrave. Even better, his best player last season, Javier Bryan, is also back, and Gale could roll the dice and start both of them. The last time these two met, Waterhouse won 3-0, and you would think anything less than a similar scoreline would be disappointing. We'll find out if Molynes can get the upset when Molynes face Waterhouse at the Anthony Spalding Complex this Monday. Montego Bay vs Dunbeholden. The spotlight will be on Cavalier vs Vere and the West Kingston's derby, but I would not sleep on this matchup. Dunbeholden are brimming with confidence after 3 wins straight at home, but finally return on the road where things haven't been so kind to them. They will make the long trek west to Montego Bay to take on a host team that is well rested and brimming with confidence themselves. Mobe are a defensive juggernaut, but they do have some challenges breaking down a low block. Luckily for them, that's not Dunbeholden's style, and they might go after the unlikely upset from the get-go. They will most likely do it without wonderkid Leon Campbell, as Mobe is his parent club. As for their last meeting, Montego Bay won 2-0 in Portmore, so it should be a fun one when Montego Bay hosts Dunbeholden this Sunday at Catherine Hall. Okay, that's it for the fixtures, but before I get to my predictions, just look at the community poll. There's not much news to look at today. This week I asked, is changing head coach Molynes' best chance of survival this season? And not surprisingly, majority of you guys said yes. Yeah, there is such a thing called the new coach bounce, and funny enough, Jermaine Thomas himself came in mid-season last year when he took Molynes out of the relegation zone. So is it too early for the same thing again? Time is running out on him. He have to get this team clicking, or they might get a replacement soon. You feel if he loses the next 2 matches, things might be dicey for him. But I am never wishing for anybody to lose their job, but something has to change soon. Alright, time for the fun part, time for the predictions. Cavalier versus Vere. Alright, this is going to be very tricky. A very heated game, but I still think Cavalier will win this one 2-0. Arnett versus Tivoli. You never know what to expect in a West Kingston derby, and it could go anywhere. It won't be 3-3, but I can see a 2-2 happening again. Molynes versus Waterhouse. Alright, I can't see anything but a Waterhouse victory, and I think they will have it a bit easy. The Waterhouse 3, Molynes 0. Montego Bay versus Dunbeholden. Dunbeholden don't necessarily travel so well so far this season, but they are more confident. I think Montego Bay would edge this one 1-0. Mount Pleasant versus Harbour View. This might end up be a Mount Pleasant 1, Harbour View 0. Molynes versus Portmore. I'm thinking Portmore wins this one 2-1 in Clarendon. And finally, Racing versus Chapelton. This one's probably the trickiest one to call, but I think Chapelton would edge this one 1-0. So okay, that's all from this Match Week 9 preview show. We'll be back here on Tuesday, of course, to review it all. Otherwise, please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you up to date on all things in the Jamaica Premier League leading up to the final in May. Otherwise, for great JPL content, you're already at the right place, Champion Fan. YouTube, pick up yourself.